Hello, it's Billy from Sanity Samples, and we're here today to talk about the all-new orchestral scoring tool, TUTTI Sketches. TUTTI Sketches is a powerful orchestral scoring tool aimed specifically at full orchestral textual writing, or TUTTI, in conjunction with tempo-synced and time signature-mapped expressive performance via hairpins to create the perfect rise and fall in dynamics for your compositions. A creativity-inspiring orchestral library that allows you to create fully formed orchestral ideas with extreme speed and ease. Let's dive straight into the user experience and first look at the hairpin controls. This section is the heart of the library, allowing you to create tempo-specific crescendos, or open hairpins, along with the decrescendos, or closed hairpins, as performance arcs, with a third option to hold a steady dynamic via the flat line that holds at the peak dynamic before heading into the closed hairpin, or decrescendo. Any one of the three steps can be toggled on or off to create rising crescendos with sudden stops or only decrescendos, depending on your requirements, with the possibility to turn all three positions off and have a simple, non-dynamically shifting performance. The peak dynamic the instrument will arrive at in the flat position will depend on either the range selector menu from pianissimo to piano, mezzo forte, forte, and fortissimo, or via the expression/dynamic slider. These two elements control one another and do the same thing, control the dynamics of the instrument globally. In addition to the tempo syncing capabilities you can achieve here, we also have presets for common time signatures. Choose from 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, and 6/8 as your meter that will then snap to your DAW's internal bar counts as well as tempo settings. Then adjust the bar lengths via the sliders below each hairpin button to the desired length at your set tempo. In addition to this easily navigated section, you can also switch settings on this section via the key switches from F7 to B7. The top F to B notes on a standard 88-key keyboard. We have created some pre-baked versions that will turn on and off the hairpins for more dynamic performance. Use, for example, open and closed hairpins on your first chord, but switching to just closed hairpins in a sforzando decrescendo style for chord 2, and perhaps a crescendo with an abrupt sting-like ending on chord 3. Opening the presets menu will allow you to customize the presets to your preference and then use the F to B switches to change to your own custom settings in real time. Ensure you have saved a new snapshot once preset changes have been made in the preset menu in order for you to create multiple key switch variations and recall them anytime you want, with our factory settings also being saved as a snapshot to get back to at any time. Note that each time signature has its own set of presets, so ensure you adjust the presets to taste based on the time signature of the project you are working on. The mixer window is where all volume-based controls are housed. Expression Dynamic Slider is a slider that controls the global expression and dynamics levels of the instrument. This is directly linked to the range menu from the hairpins section. Both will change together, including any MIDI writing you perform within your DAW. Note that alongside the expression dynamic controls, the library is built with a velocity-based dynamic arc that is designed to complement the expression and range controls, with a smaller window of dynamics able to be controlled via velocity or how hard you hit the keyboard, centered around the pre-selected dynamic of the expression slider or range menu. TUTTI Sketches is designed to have the entire orchestral texture in the mix at all times, or to perform in TUTTI. However, a fairly separated mix console allows you to bring any texture very low in the overall mix, or feature any texture in turn. Note that the pitched percussion is unlikely to be heard if using an open hairpin, due to the nature of the sharp drop-off after the initial attack. There are 4 mic positions on offer, with pure being the closest mic position in proximity and room being the furthest. We also have a mid-20th century style lo-fi tape signal which drops most of the low end and gives a vintage sound quality. Finally, a mix control that is a dedicated mix of all the signals along with additional compression, great for pumping more power into the library. A blend of these mics is ideal if going for a large orchestral texture. The more signals, the better. The staccato overlay button will engage a short and strong attack to the beginning of each note, so long as no open hairpin is engaged. This is a real recorded quick attack and is perfect for emphasizing a phrase, ostinato, or run. Housed within the effects is the stereo modeling unit to expand or contract the stereo field, along with a global panning. Then a delay unit with time controls which are synced to your DAW projects, feedback levels and panning controls. Then finally a reverb unit with a standard size, mix and reverb type menu control. A key element to the power of this library lies in its deep and varied chord modes, from completely pre-made, non-adjustable chords that snap to the scale you choose, to completely adjustable chord structures customizable across the entire 12-tone chromatic scale. In the pre-made section, you get the choice of double stops, where the root note you play is accompanied by a major or minor third above, depending on the scale you have chosen. For example, if the key is C major, playing the note C will give you both the C you played and the E 4 semitones above that. Next we have the split triads. In this mode, you will hear 3 notes. The root note you are playing, plus a fifth above that, and a further third above that, an octave above where it would normally have been in a standard triad, creating the classic sound of a split triad heard in the works of composers like Thomas Newman, for example. The note C will give you the triggered note C, then a G above that, and finally an E a full octave higher than the original C. Finally, in the pre-made section, we have sevenths chords, giving you a slightly extended sound by first adding a third, then adding a major or minor seventh of the root note you are playing as it appears in the scale you have chosen. All in all, a very powerful and versatile section, especially if you want to just get in and choose a key, then map out some quick chords on the fly. However, if you want to get deeper into the weeds of the chord modes of this engine, then the next stop will be the custom mode. When in this chord mode, you can create bespoke chord types and upper extensions to the 11th variation. These are not scale specific and are fully chromatic from the perspective of the root note played. You can choose from major, minor and diminished triads as a base to the root note, followed by 6th, flat 7, major 7, 9, 11 and sharp 11 upper extensions. You can achieve dominant chords by selecting the major triad and then adding the flat 7 extension. Reset all controls in one simple click with the reset button in the bottom right of this window, or save a snapshot beforehand to ensure you keep any structures you may have already created. The final and most free-form version of the chord engine is the split keys mode. Here, the chords will only trigger from the lowest octave of a standard 88-key keyboard, from C1 to B1. So whilst we won't get octave variations, we are able to create any number of note stacks per pitch in order to build out our own custom scale of chords. You can choose from 2 pre-made versions of full tutti chords, best used as a finishing chord to a piece or sparingly as large ensemble moments, with minimalist chords also on offer. These are linked to the scale you choose and are uneditable. However, if you click over to the custom button, the chords will remain, but now you can adjust the notes using across the entire range with the 88 key display keyboard below. Simply click on the root note you want to adjust or play the note on your keyboard, then change the notes you hear when playing that triggered pitch, giving the possibility to create any type of chord or cluster you wish with any number of notes. Full flexibility is the aim of this section. As the chords are only triggered by the lowest octave, you also have the ability to play melodic lines above these chords in the right hand, independent from the chords being triggered by the split keys mode. Finally, in this section, you also have a reset button that will quickly remove all chords. Save a new snapshot when done to recall any adjustments that you have made at any time. Be cautious, as switching back to the tutti or minimalist chords without saving a snapshot will see your custom chords switched out with the pre-built chords from the default engine setup. Okay, that has been an in-depth walkthrough of TUTTI Sketches, the orchestral scoring tool, a powerhouse for on-the-fly orchestral writing, chock full of creativity inspiring functionality. Head to insanitysamples.com for more information. Thanks for watching.